Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to Return to Dark Souls 2. Unfortunately, this is another post-commentated episode. Second time I've screwed up with my microphone. I plugged it in and I didn't turn up the volume knob, so I recorded 30 minutes of silence with the live commentary. Again, it happened to me once before, and it was really annoying then, and it's kind of annoying now as well. But we got through it the last time with post commentary as well. We'll do it here as well. I think that was actually on my first Dark Souls 3 playthrough when it first happened. Well, whatever. Came back to the Forest of the Fallen Giants. A good portion of this episode is going to be me collecting Estus shards. There are a couple that I missed. I finally looked up the stats needed to wield Santier's Spear. And if I remember correctly, it's 20 strength and 22 dex. And you'll see in this episode when I level up that I'm essentially working towards those stats. But yeah, I came back here because there is a flash shard up here. Again, they changed the location of all the shards. Well, not all, but some of them. And this is one they changed. They put one up here with the Pursuer. Shouldn't be too difficult to get. I mean, now that I have like a +4 weapon, this area is incredibly easy. Or not, well, you'll see in a second. Yeah, I got my ass ambushed. I did not know that there were enemies here that wake up. This must actually be pretty difficult if you come here and try to fight the Pursuer, because you also get attacked by these three. I almost got killed by them. They don't do a lot of damage, but they can overwhelm you. So, gotta be careful here. But yeah, once two of them are dead, that's it. This kept happening to me throughout this episode. I kept getting like the shield break critical attack, and it just like I didn't get the critical attack out. I got the shield bash, or shield, I don't even know what to call it. It just like knocks away the shield. And here's the flash. Oh, that was the repair powder. The other one was the flash shard. So yeah, I failed at pretty much every critical attack in this episode. I don't think there are that many more. While I was here, I thought that I might as well go ahead and pick up the Chloranthy ring. I was trying to look up what this item was called, the Ferrous Lockstone, because I forgot. But I thought that I might as well just get this out of the way. It is worth getting using the Ferrous Lockstone here, I would say. It gets you a Titanite slab and the Chloranthy ring. And the Chloranthy ring, as you probably know, is pretty useful. Something I didn't mention, when I was in the previous episodes, is that this game follows the same system as Dark Souls 3 in terms of rings, in that there are +1 and +2 versions of the rings. The only difference in this game is that some of the +1 versions can be found in New Game. Because in Dark Souls 3, the +1 and +2 versions of rings can only be found in New Game Plus, and I think ++. But here you can get, I think like even +2 versions of some rings in New Game. So yeah, Titanite slab and the Chloranthy ring. Chloranthy ring is going to be incredibly useful now. In a game where stamina is so precious, having it recharge just a tiny bit quicker is a big boost. This is a basic setup of rings that I pretty much have here. Usually people always have the Chloranthy and the Ring of Blades. Those are two rings that almost every PvP build should have. And then with the other ones you can kind of like mess around. Again, you don't have to use them, but if you want to be optimal. And of course, something I didn't talk about much in the previous episodes is the bonfire aesthetic system. Something that they had in this game, which I thought was really good. I think it was a really smart system. They didn't bring back for Dark Souls 3, unfortunately. In that, of course, in this game, you can use the bonfire aesthetic item to get that area into New Game Plus. And that can have a lot of benefits, you know. In terms of when I was doing the ultimate guides, it was incredibly useful because just like in Dark Souls 3, there are, you know, boss enemies that make 2 items that I need. Like, for example, you know, in Dark Souls 3, Osiris' soul makes both the White Dragon Breath and the Moonlight Butterfly Sword, both of which are technically should be part of the Ultimate Sorcerer Guide. And I can only get one, of course, unless I want to go through all of New Game as well. Well, here in this game, if you have the Bonfire Ascetic, you can just use it at that bonfire, respawn the boss, and get another copy of his soul. And you know, that is very good in some respects. Well, actually, I think it's good in all respects. I think that was a good system, and I really think they should have brought it back for 3, but they didn't. What can you do? I'm using up my souls here because I was like, you know what, I might as well do it now because all of these souls are pretty, well, low level, I would guess, or weak. And you know, if I leave the weak souls for later, I just don't end up using them ever. In terms of boss souls, I'll keep them around for now. I am thinking about making a secondary weapon other than the Santir. But what? Yeah, I don't know yet. Thinking of some of the Dragon Rider weapons, maybe. I might even make a bow or something. Again, I'm not sure yet. But the boss souls I prefer using up only when I'm certain that I won't need them. Which I'm certain about some of them, like the Pursuer I'm never gonna use. Here I decided to switch back my helmet because, I don't know, I like the Viking looking helmet, but I like this one more. Just trying different combinations. The hard leather is still the best one I have. Picking up a couple of more live gems. I think I'm pretty much set for live gems from now on, unless I like really screw something up. Heading back to Things Betwixt here because I did pick up a Fragrant Branch of Yore. So I think it's time to use it and get another Flask Shard, because beyond the statue is another Flask Shard, which there didn't used to be one in Things Betwixt. And Fragrant Branches are not difficult to come by, so really don't have to worry about using them. Sorry about that, I just yawned. I'm gonna probably cut that out because that was pretty loud. Anyways, if you go in here earlier, be prepared because there are some high level enemies here. Well, not high level, but stronger enemies. Basilisks in this game, as you see, do not inflict curse. They inflict petrification, which functionally it's the exact same thing. It kills you instantly, and it also, well, if you're in human form, it gives you more hollowing than just like a normal death. I think it gives you like 2 or 3 deaths worth of hollowing. I actually managed to get a plunging attack here, which in this game and Dark Souls 3 are pretty difficult to do actually. But yeah, as you can see, it is pretty easy to get killed in here if you're not careful. Luckily that guy was happy just doing his breath attack instead of actually attacking. But yeah, I do like the different placements of these statues or petrified enemies because, you know, it just kind of gives you an extra thing to think about who you want to unpetrify. But there are certainly more useful and less useful ones. This one actually is pretty useful. I mean, a Flask Shard is worth a lot, I would say. That coffin down there that you just saw, next to those, those hippo enemies. That coffin, I didn't know for a long time what it did. I entered it in one of my earlier playthroughs, and it didn't seem to do anything except give you a cutscene. And I wondered, I wondered for a long time what it did, until people in the comments informed me that it actually changes your gender, which I don't know why they added that. I think functionally it's pretty useless because this game doesn't, well, since Demon's Souls, none of the games had gender exclusive equipment. So again, it's kind of pointless, but whatever. I decided to go ahead and explore this path as well. If there is one thing you can commend this game on, and there are a lot of things that you can praise this game for, one thing is that this game is 100% not linear. Basically, out of Majula, you essentially have, right at the start, at least 3 paths to go. You can go to Haid, you can go to the forest, or you can drop down into the pit, which you probably won't survive, but you can grind for souls and get enough to get the Silver Cat ring. And once you get your first Fragrant Branch, which is not that difficult, you have this path to unlock as well. So essentially, right out of the gate, you have 4 paths that you can go to within the first few hours of the game. Dark Souls 3, unfortunately, I think one of the biggest negatives I would say of it is that it's very linear. And that does detract from replayability, because here in this game you can do stuff differently. Like, you can go to Haid, and the fact that you can join the Champions Covenant, Company of Champions I think it's called, that adds another layer, because then that completely changes how the early game plays with more difficult enemies and red phantoms and things like that. So, you know, you can definitely say that this game is not linear at all, which is, I think, how they should approach Souls. Or they should do the Demon's Souls route, which is, of course, that you have 5 areas that you can explore in any order. Thought it was time to finally go to the Bastille. Do I? Oh, no. I go to... Oh, because I go to the Bastille from the other side. Now I remember. Funny, because I did this like, what, an hour ago? Not even that. In terms of going back to Demon's Souls, I've been talking about a lot of Demon's Souls today. I know some people haven't played Demon's Souls, but honestly I would say that if you have a chance to pick it up, if you have a PS3, I mean, you can find that game really cheap. And if you have an opportunity to get it, I really think you should. I think everyone should play, who's a fan of the Souls series, should play Demon's Souls. I mean, I mentioned this before, it's definitely clunky. Like, in a lot of ways, you can tell that Demon's Souls was their first kind of, you know, it's their first Souls game, so they were still working stuff out. Demon's Souls definitely shows its age in terms of like the graphics as well, but I think it's worth playing because it's such a great game. It probably has the most kind of, I would say, obscure mechanics out of all the Souls games. It has a lot with its like, it has a thing like, it has character tendency, it has world tendency, none of which are explained very well. I mean, the tutorial is, I would say, even less clear than Dark Souls 1. But you know, again, if you have a chance to pick it up, do so, because there are a lot of things in it that even this game and Dark Souls 3, you know, kind of reference. I should do, thinking about Demon's Souls, I should do another playthrough of it. Eventually, not right now, because I think I'm happy doing this game. I was just checking for mimics. What does this chest contain? I'm just gonna watch because... Oh, okay. I wasn't watching this chest because I was talking about Demon's Souls in the live commentary as well. And here we have the Dull Ember, which is pretty important. So yeah, I will eventually do another Demon's Souls playthrough. Probably a pure mage, which should be fun. But for right now, I think in terms of what I'm going to be doing on my channel, might as well talk about this because The gameplay can just. I'm not talking. I'm done doing live commentary. Probably gonna be, of course, finishing up this series. I've been thinking about what games I should be playing besides this game. I want to start some other games as well. I actually did find a lot of my old PC games from when I was a kid. And there are some pretty good ones in there. I found Shadows of the Empire, which was one of my favorite games when I was a kid. I might play that. That's a pretty kind of like a short and easy game to play. It's an old Star Wars game, if you don't know. Yeah, pretty good one, I would say as well. Shadows of the Empire might do that. What else did I find? I found MDK2, which was also a game that I played a lot when I was a kid. There are some games, like that I vividly remember playing when I was younger. And MDK2 is one of them. I don't know how many people know that game, but I have it on Steam as well because I'm not sure if the CD works. Rayman 2 is another one that I always remember. Rayman 2 for the PC. Well, it wasn't for the PC. I think it was for the Dreamcast, maybe. I don't even know. But Rayman 2 is another great one. And there's also... That's pretty much it, I would say. I also found X-Wing Alliance, which I'm planning on playing just on my own. I played a lot of Star Wars games when I was a kid. That was my thing back then. So, yeah, I might play Shadows of the Empire just for like nostalgia's sake. And again, it's a pretty easy and short game. Other than this game, yeah, I just killed the Pursuer. Not that difficult. Probably once I'm done with this series, I will go back and do another Ultimate Guide. Probably the Sorcery one, I think. Bunch of stuff there. Another Fragrant Branch, so if you come here first, you can pick this up and go explore the fourth path that I just showed. And of course the Covetous Silver Serpent, which is actually pretty good in the... God damn. Actually pretty good in this game. You have enough time after killing a boss to switch to it, like in all the Souls games. If you're good with your... Did I just miss an item that guy dropped? God damn, I'm an idiot. I didn't even notice that just now. Damn. Well, we're gonna have to listen to Lucatiel's dialogue here, because, I'm doing Lucatiel's quest.
The longer I am here, the more madness I discover. A wretched place indeed, but not without traces of its former glory. What could have caused such degradation? Ah, yes, I have not thanked you for humoring me the other day. This is for you. Of course, I've no idea what it is. Our land of Mirror is surrounded by enemies and constantly at war. There is only one way up in Mirror. Join the Order and prove yourself in battle. My family have little fortune and no name. I have to carve out a piece of the world for myself. With two things, my sword and my loyalty to my lord.
Well, she can certainly use that sword. I decided to check this chest. Yeah, she has a lot of dialogue, Lucatiel, so...
I was raised to wield. Life was hard.
I decided to skip this in the end, because I was just like... I always feel like I'm wasting time when I listen to the NPC dialogues.
These poor souls affected by the curse. An undead gradually loses his humanity until his wits degrade completely. Finally, he turns hollow and preys upon others. And a hollow can never be human again. One can skirt this wicked fate only with the help of the souls found here. Assuming, of course, that the legends are true. I can only hope that they are.
Yep, the big reveal that Lucatiel herself is going hollow. That's kind of the main crux of her questline, in that she's constantly trying to avoid hollowing. I used that Estus because I thought that I forgot that the binoculars are actually a weapon in this game. Yeah, as you can see, one half of her face is completely hollowed or turning hollow. And it's interesting that she says, that she does not know what a human effigy is. From that, I can only speculate. I think other people have said this as well. That maybe human effigies are only available to certain undead. Especially the chosen undead. Because we're technically, in some ways, the chosen undead in this game. But yeah, it's interesting that she does not know how to use it. Because that is basically the key to not going hollow. Yeah, this guy was feeling suicidal. Coming down here because there is a kind of specific thing we have to do with a barrel here. It's not easy, but it does help out a lot if you manage to do it. Basically, you need some sort of ranged attack, preferably throwing knives. I think firebombs might blow up the barrel, so you just get this guy's attention. As you can see, throwing knives in this game, like I said, are pretty effective. And this is the barrel, and below, at the bottom of these stairs, is a secret passage, and normally the barrel explodes, but it didn't for some reason there. So I actually managed to push it to the cracked wall there. It's not enough, by the way, to just attack it, because it's not going to blow up if you just attack it. You have to attack it with a firebomb, which I got worried that I didn't have one right here, but actually I do. A couple of black firebombs. And with that, there we go. This bonfire is a lot easier in terms of approaching the boss. Plus, after we rest here, we can go ahead and visit the NPC that's in here. After picking up these items, a bunch of upgrade materials. I think they're hinting at here that if you haven't upgraded your weapon up to this point, it is time to do it now. We are getting close to the first of the 4 lords. They're not called lords in this game, but 4 of the bosses who inherited the souls of the 4 lords from Dark Souls 1. But this guy is completely bonkers. He's just like, he's smithing an imaginary weapon. Yeah, and he is gonna ask for the dull ember we just picked up. Which, I don't know. This is one of the changes I don't know why they did. Why they decided to move this so close. Because this item used to be in the Iron Keep. And I think it was perfectly fine there. I mean, you don't need infusions. Well, I guess maybe the raw infusion. The only thing I can think of is that by the time of the Iron Keep, the raw infusion becomes obsolete, worthless. But it's pretty worthless anyways, so I don't know. This is kind of a weird change because it's so close. But whatever, he can upgrade weapons as well. And he can infuse, which I'll show in a bit. Here are all the infusion pads. Most of these are useful. Not all of them, I would say. I don't even know what the difference between like the magic and the enchanted ones are. I think one of them gives you just... I think enchanted is completely worthless, if I remember correctly. But there's also mundane, which is... I guess all of the Souls games have to have one weird infusion. For Dark Souls 1, it was probably crystal. For 2, it's this mundane thing. And for 3, it's the simple infusion. Is it called simple? The one that's kind of like the blue stone. But yeah, mundane is really weird in that it only gives you scaling if all your stats are equal. So if you have 25 stats in every single, or 25 points in every single stat, that's the only way your mundane weapon is actually going to do any sort of damage or get any scaling. It's kind of weird. I don't know what exactly the logic is behind this. But if I remember correctly, it used to be really powerful when the game first came out. So powerful, in fact, that they nerfed it and kind of made it useless. At least that's kind of the last update I had. Remember, I haven't played PvP in this game in ages, so some of the information I have might not be accurate. For example, I know that they nerfed the Ice Rapier, I think. It used to be the most powerful weapon in this game. And the katanas. So I don't know what the meta is for PvP in this game. I got shot in the head there, which is kind of annoying. We're gonna get something even more annoying here. Because I forgot that if you come here, another pursuer spawns. Man, these guys are all over the fucking place. And I got close to death here. Very close. I don't even know how I made that. But yeah, there is a fucking pursuer here who actually ends up disappearing once you get him to despawn. If you get far away from him, he will disappear. And I don't think he comes back, so whatever. It's his loss that he doesn't get to fight me. I wasn't probably equipped to fight a pursuer anyways here at this point. I lost quite a bit of flasks. But yeah, again, I don't know what the PvP meta is for this game. Couple of things left to do in this episode. I'm gonna pick up another flask shard. Realize that I still haven't used the one I picked up in Things Betwixt. And I'll unlock the shortcut here. There it is. Kind of hidden, but not so much, because you can see this from the bonfire, I think. See, I just realized I haven't used the other one I have as well. And you know, if you don't, if you haven't killed the pursuer yet, you can just come into the Bastille from this way. By pursuer, I mean the one that's actually a boss. And you can still hit this bonfire that's here. It's just going to be a lot more difficult because the enemy up there actually kicks the barrel down, which means that there is a lot less of a chance of it actually hitting the cracked wall. But yeah, I decided to head back because I was wrapping up the episode here anyways. And yeah, I think I actually end up leveling up. Or maybe not. It is a shard I found, indeed. I still think that should have some sort of effect to it, but, you know, I guess it's too late now. That puts us at 6, which is pretty significant. Oh, do I not actually end up leveling up? What did I end up doing here? I don't even know. Oh, I wanted to show Hade's Tower of Flame. Started talking about how the geography of this game, you know, some people complain where it doesn't make much sense. And they do make some fair points, you know. For example, from here it looks like Hade's Tower is like way out in the sea. But when you actually get there, it is shown to be a lot closer to the cliffs. But you know, I guess it's just part of the background, you know, to give you a taste of what you're going to be exploring. You can see that. And yeah, I lingered here because this is the thing about losing. Well, not losing, but screwing up the commentary. Is that you can have like weird moments here where I just like stare at something because I'm explaining things, or I was explaining things. And up there you can see Drangleic Castle, which we're also going to visit. And all the way there is the Forest of the Fallen Giants. So, you know, you can kind of see things that you're going to be visiting from Majula, which is a nice touch. I do like when they do that. But they did that well in Dark Souls 3 as well. So I think this is going to pretty much conclude episode, what is it, 6? I think so, episode 6 of Return to Dark Souls 2. I actually managed to find the gesture menu the first time around. So yeah, we'll end it here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see all of you next time. Goodbye.